This episode is powered by Poddex.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of MCVC. Gonna kind of pick things up where I left off with my NFL predictions. I got a lot of good feedback on our episodes, both on YouTube, Instagram, and stuff, asking me to kind of do more of an in-depth schedule prediction of each team. So, a couple weeks back, probably a little over a month now, actually, I had did just an overall record prediction for each team. So now I'm just going to go through their schedules. Most of the teams I stuck pretty close to my schedule predictions. A couple I was either gave them an extra win or an extra loss, but I stayed pretty close to my old predictions. So we'll just kind of kick things off and go at the same order that I went in last time. I'm going to make this a two-part episode. I'm just going to do the AFC today, and then either tomorrow or a couple days on the road I'll do the NFC. But so yeah, I'll kick things off here in the same order that I did the last episode. So we have the Buffalo Bills. Um, I have them I had them going 14-2 in my predictions episode. Um, with my prediction this time around, I have them going 13-3, so one extra loss. So I have the Bills going 7-1 at home with their only loss to the Steelers, and then 6-2 on the road. Their only losses at Miami and at Kansas City. So pretty strong year for the Bills. They have some good opponents, some tough games against Steelers, Miami, Kansas City, all in that top level of the AFC. So um, all three of those I could see potentially being their losses. Um, I feel like they're all going to be close games, but I feel like those would be the ones that they would lose. So 13-3 for the Bills there. Next, moving on to the Dolphins. Um, Dolphins I have going 9-7. At home, I have them going 6-2 with their only losses to Buffalo and Baltimore. And then I have them going 3-5 on the road. They have a lot of tough games on the road. Kind of look at their schedule here. They got at Buffalo, at the Saints, at the Patriots, at the Raiders, at the Bucks, at the Titans. So those are all going to be really tough games. So again, I have them going 3-5 on the road, getting wins in Jacksonville, at the Jets, and then at the Saints. Since the Saints will be kind of taking a step down, I could see the Dolphins going in and getting a win there. So again, 9-7 for the Dolphins. Next, we have the Patriots. I have the Patriots going 10-6 next year, um, splitting or having the same record at home and away. 5-3 at home. Their three losses at home to Buffalo, Tampa Bay, and Cleveland. Um, Again, Patriots kind of have another tough schedule, but also the Patriots. So it was kind of weird to see them take a step down this year and have a losing record. I think they had a losing record. They went 7-9, if I remember correctly. Um, so I could see them getting back on track, maybe sneaking in a wild card position at 10-6. So yeah, 5-3 at home, and then 5-3 on the road as well. Again, they have a kind of a tough road schedule at Buffalo, at the Colts, at the Chargers. Um, so I do have them getting. So yeah, they have some good road games again, going 5-3. The three losses being at Buffalo and at Indianapolis and at the Chargers. So yeah, 10-6 for the Patriots. To wrap up the AFC uh, North, I'm sorry, AFC East. We have the Jets. I have the Jets going 5-11 next year, so an improvement from this past year, but still not going to be quite there this year. I have the Jets going 3-5 at home, getting their three wins against the Jags, the Saints, and the Bengals, and then 2-6 on the road, wins at Atlanta and at Houston. So again, a little bit of an improvement from this past year, but nothing to write home about for the Jets. So 5-11 there. Moving on to the AFC North, kicking things off with Pittsburgh. Uh, Pittsburgh, I have them going 11-5. Um, kind of looking at their schedule here again, Pittsburgh has a pretty tough schedule. So 11-5 could vary a little bit. I could see them maybe going 10-6 as maybe one of the wins I'm giving them might go one way or the other. But again, 6-2 at home. I have them taking losses to um, Chicago and Tennessee, and then 5-3 on the road with losses at Green Bay, Cleveland, and Kansas City. Um, Again, they have some pretty tough away games at Baltimore, at Buffalo, at Cleveland, at Green Bay, at Kansas City, at the Chargers. Um, so they'll struggle a little bit more on the road than at home, obviously. But 11-5 is still a good record that'll probably get them into the playoffs again. Next, we have Baltimore. I have Baltimore going 12-4 next year. Uh, Baltimore has a little bit of an easier schedule, but again, a couple primetime games potentially. I have them going 5-3 at home, with their three losses to Kansas City, the Vikings, and Cleveland. Um, the Vikings could be one that might go one way or the other, but everybody knows there's probably 5 to 10 games throughout the NFL season that an underdog will come in, or even an underdog at home will win. So that's one of those games I could see Minnesota going into Baltimore and squeaking out a close win. Um, so yeah, having them go 5-3 at home means that they're 7-1 on the road. Um, Definitely an easier series of road games. Uh, at the Bears, at the Bengals, at the Browns, at Denver, at the Lions, at the Dolphins, at Las Vegas, and then at Pittsburgh. So I have their one loss coming at Pittsburgh. So yeah, Baltimore finishing 12-4 uh, by my predictions, having them winning the AFC North here. Um, Next, we have Cleveland. Uh, Respectable year making the playoffs for them. They went 11-5 last year. I'm going to say they match that and go 11-5 again next year. Have them going 6-2 at home with their only losses to Baltimore and Chicago, and then have them going 5-3 on the road, and their three losses at Green Bay, at Kansas City, and at Pittsburgh. That Pittsburgh game probably going to be a close one, could be a toss up. I know they bounced back and creamed them in the playoffs. So it really depends the direction Pittsburgh is going to go, if Big Ben's coming back or not. Um, Really, the Pittsburgh's entire schedule could kind of change a little bit if Big Ben doesn't come back and they don't really commit to Mason Rudolph and they kind of shake things up and maybe try to bring somebody in. Their record could go from 11-5 to a 9-7 or an 8-8, honestly. So but yeah, just kind of wrap things up with Cleveland. Again, having them go 11-5 again, probably have them make the playoffs again next year. And then lastly, to wrap up the AFC North, we have the Bengals. I have the Bengals finishing 5-11. Um, have them going 2-6 at home with their two wins against the Jags and the Chargers, and then actually have them winning more games on the road, which surprisingly they have easier games on the road, like um, I have them winning at Denver, at Detroit, and then at Chicago. Um, Games also include on the road at the Jets, at the Raiders, and then at the Steelers. But um, yeah, so 5-11 for the Bengals. Um, Joe Burrow, maybe he'll ball out a little bit more than he did his first year. Uh, Maybe pick up another game, maybe two, and get up to 6-10. But again, not enough to probably get him in the playoffs this year. So moving on to the Titans here in the AFC South. Yeah, starting off with the Titans. I have the Titans going 12-4 next year. Um, I have them going 7-1 at home with their only loss to the Bills, and then 5-3 on the road. Losses at the Rams, at the Colts, and at Seattle. Um, so yeah, the Titans definitely have a harder away schedule. Really, their biggest home games are going to be Buffalo, maybe the Dolphins, and then Kansas City. Um, yeah, Kansas City. So let's see here. Yeah, just double checking. So yeah, so Titans going 12-4, respectable year. Probably definitely see them making a playoff push again. Next, we have the Colts. Have the Colts going 10-6 next year. Again, admirable year for them. Philip Rivers retires. They go out and get Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz isn't going to come in and steal the show and have like an MVP caliber season. Again, I could be eating my words right now, and he could completely ball out in a new system, but I don't see the Colts really taking a big step down by any means. I think they actually went 10-6 this past year, if I remember correctly. So having them going 10-6 next year, 6-2 at home with their only losses at home to the Rams and the Raiders, and then 4-4 on the road. So they split their away games. Losses at Miami, at Baltimore, at the Titans, and at the Bills. So all four of their away losses again against admirable teams. So nothing to be, I guess, bummed out about there. So 10-6 for the Colts. Next, we have the Texans. Texans, I think they're going to be one of those teams that tank this year. I got them going 2-14, especially if Watson ends up leaving. If Watson stays, maybe they get an extra win or two, but not because Watson's going to really give that much of an effort. Um, if Watson leaves 2-14, if they get 2 wins, they'll probably be one of probably the bottom 4 teams of the league this year. Uh, so 1-7 at home, 1-7 on the road. I have them getting 1 win or their home win against the Jags and their road win against the Jets. Um, yeah, so lastly, we have the Jags. Have the Jags going 5-11. Um, looks like they're going to go and get Trevor Lawrence probably. Not 100% sure there though. You never know when the draft comes around. But if they do, um, I don't see Trevor Lawrence stepping in and taking that team over and turning that franchise around in 1 year. Though I do see improvement probably year after year with him. So have the Jags going 3-5 at home, getting wins against the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Texans. Um, and then 2-6 on the road, getting wins at the Bengals and Seattle. So a couple notable wins there for the Jags, Cardinals, and Seattle. I don't think those are outlandish things or I guess predictions to make. Again, the Jags offense is kind of their focal point of that team. So if they can go out and revamp that offense, make it better, and even have some um, pick up some guys in free agency in the draft, maybe to make that defense a little better. Um, 5-11 could be underselling the Jags, and they could end up winning a game or two more than I have them here. So yeah, that wraps things up for the AFC South. Finishing up here with the AFC West, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the top here. I have the Chiefs going 13-3 next year. 1 game less than their 14-2 this past year in their Super Bowl run. I'm going 7-1 at home. With their only loss at home to Dallas. Now, probably sounds kind of crazy given some of the games that they'll be playing at home, like against the Raiders, the Browns, the Steelers, the Bills, even. Um, so, um, actually, wait a second. So, looking at it, yeah. So, back at the top, I'm looking. I have the Bills losing at Kansas City. Oh, yeah, so that's right then. So, yeah, sorry, thinking too much in my head. So, yeah, 7-1 at home for Kansas City then with their only loss to Dallas, and I don't think that's a crazy prediction to make either. If Dallas is healthy, they go out and get some more weapons. Um, CeeDee Lamb has a good second year. Zeke kind of bounces back. Prescott comes back healthy. Dallas could be one of those teams that ends up uh, doing better than most people think. So, yeah, Kansas City 7-1 at home, and then 6-2 on the road with their 2 losses at the Titans and the Raiders. Again, having them finish 13-3. Um, Next, the Raiders. Raiders, I think, finished 8-8 last year. I'm going 10-6 this coming year, which is what they probably should have finished at this past year. I know they had a couple games get away from them last year. Anyway, Raiders, I have them going 6-2 at home with their only losses to Baltimore and then Washington. And then on the road, have them splitting their games 4-4, but they'll get wins at the Giants, at the Colts, at Denver, and then at Dallas. I have them getting their fourth win on the road. So, moving on to the Chargers. Chargers had an admirable year, especially given having a young quarterback. Uh, I could see them stepping up a little bit more from where they finished last year. I got them going 9-7. Have them going 6-2 at home with losses to Cleveland and Kansas City, and then 3-5 on the road with wins at the Texans, Eagles, and Washington. So 9-7. That might be able to squeak them in for a wild card spot. Probably not though, given that the Dolphins went 10-6 and missed out this past year. I could see 10-6 teams missing out again this year. Maybe an 11-5 team. Who knows with the way this next year is going to go. And then to wrap things up for the AFC, Denver. I have Denver going 6-10. Um, Again, Denver is still kind of in that state where they're still trying to rebuild. Obviously, never really been the same since Peyton Manning left after they won the Super Bowl 50. So whether it's a matter of Drew Lock being the answer for them at quarterback, time will tell. But yeah, so I have them going 6-10. Have them going 3-5 at home, and then on the road, they get their 3 home wins against Philadelphia, Washington, and then the Jets, and then their 3 away wins at the Giants, at the Jags, and then at Dallas. So that kind of wraps things up for the AFC. I know, like I said, to kind of start off the episode, some of you guys are kind of wanting me to do a breakdown of schedule predictions. So again, I'll be doing the NFC here in the next couple of days. Let me know what your guys' predictions are. If you think kind of if you're in the same ballpark with my predictions here with these teams, or if you think they're going to do worse or better. I always love to have your guys' feedback. Um, you guys always bring up a lot of good points as far as how rosters look and things like that. And like I said, always glad to see you guys' feedback. So that wraps things up today. Kind of a shorter episode, but yeah. So have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you next time.